guys, this is Lily from XIcana Boxing, and welcome to the first official podcast show. Woohoo! Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, this is just another bitch with a boxing podcast. Well, yeah, you're right. But if you're a real enthusiast of boxing and a hardcore boxing fan, then maybe you want to consume boxing all the fucking time. So if you're stuck in traffic or you want to get away from your nagging significant other a little bit to listen to some more boxing shit, welcome. Alright, so I was going to make my first podcast talking about Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia, the fight we all have been anticipating. However, it's not fight week yet, so I'm like, let me just talk about what happened this week in boxing so that it's like a test run. I don't know how the fuck this is going to turn out. Can the computer even record this as I'm doing it? I don't know. But let's just do what happened this week in boxing. And then, keep the shit short. And then next week, I'll put out my prediction for Errol Spence and my analysis and shit. Okay, so let's get started. And first, we had the press conference for the much anticipated rematch between Sir Rungvisai and El Gallo Estrada. And that card is going to be stacked. It's going to be April 26th at the Forum in Inglewood. And I'm just really fucking excited because the first fight was fucking fireworks. And this is an amazing card because we also have Super Bantamweight unification fight. It's Danny Roman versus Johnny Doheny. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, sue me. He's a southpaw from Australia, if I'm not mistaken, and he's undefeated. He's a current champion. He's undefeated. So it's going to be great to see how Babyface is going to do against this undefeated fighter who's also a champion. It's both of their first title unification matches, if I'm not mistaken. It's their first unification match, not their first defense. I fucked up. It's their first unification match for both of them, if I'm not mistaken. So I know we have seen Babyface look pretty great. He got his belt in Japan, and he hasn't really been tested that crazy. So I am excited to see how he's going to respond. But he is a beast in the sparring in the gym. I've seen him spar. He looks very calm, very collected, but he's more technical. He's not like a knockout artist, but he does pretty well. He did get a stoppage in his last fight. So, right, he did. So I'm really excited to see him. I'm excited to see this unification. And, of course, the rematch. I mean, like I said, we're at the Forum. I was screaming my fucking head off because I love fights like that. It was the perfect fight where it's just putazos, but at the same time, it's like technical shit going on in the ring. I did have Rungvisai up in the first fight, and I know a lot of people think that Estrada won, especially because they like to show those comparison pictures of, damn, look how fucking beat up Rungvisai looked after. And Estrada had like some little scratches and shit. That's fine and all. I understand how people can draw those conclusions, like how can this guy win after he looks like that, but it's more technical than that. I didn't have it so wide. I think I had him up like one or two rounds. And I do think that Estrada can actually beat him the second time around because, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that's had the most success against Rungvisai, especially in the recent. He's obviously has like 4 losses like way back. But we saw what he did to our Lord and Savior, Chocolatito. He just laid him the fuck out. And that was traumatizing to say the least. But we did see Estrada have really nice success, especially in the second half of the fight. He looked like he was landing the better punches. He was faster. He was always one step ahead. But that was until the second half. And he did have his flurries and his moments in the first half, but I don't think it was enough to basically secure a victory. But if he makes those adjustments to come more forward and counter properly and kind of evade Rungvisai, because he is fucking strong. He be laying dudes out. I think he can win. So I am very excited. My cat's just staring at me right now. I am very excited to see this fight, this rematch. And you best believe your ass I'll be there. Now, in the undercard, we also have Jesse Vargas. I don't think his opponent has been announced yet officially, but there were talks initially of like Munguia. Munguia already secured another opponent, Hogan, I believe he's fighting someone else already. So that's out of the question. But there were rumors going around about Jesse Vargas wanting to fight Jaime Munguia, and in my head I'm just like, boy, you got a death wish or something? What are you doing? I don't know what Jesse Vargas thinks he sees that he can capitalize on Munguia. I know Munguia is not the most technically sound fighter. He's not like the highest of the ring IQs. He does struggle on his defense, and we've seen that he is a little too green still to be kind of a champion. But I mean, he got a belt. But I don't see how he thinks he has a chance against Munguia's power, and that's a little disturbing to me to see that I don't know, that it is a little weird for me to see that Jesse would want that fight. I do give him credit for having the balls to like want someone like Munguia, seeing what he does to his opponents. I mean, obviously not in the last fight, it did go the distance, but I don't see how against Jesse Vargas it would be a different outcome than with Ali, or I don't know. But now apparently there's talks of a possible fight with Soto, who just beat Brandon Rios like 2 weeks ago, right? Was that like 2 weeks ago? Against Brandon Rios, and now they're like trying to put that together for this DAZN card in April 26th. And I don't know, man. I don't see how Jesse Vargas, what he's doing or what DAZN's gonna do with Jesse Vargas, because in my opinion, and this is just me, Jesse Vargas has no business in the welterweight division. I don't think he can beat any of the top guys. He's a good name to have on your resume, but the fact that they're trying to put someone like Soto against him right now, it tells me that that's one guy they know he can beat, because his last 2 fights have been draws. You know, even the guy that he was supposed to beat, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from that guy. I forgot his name. But Delorme, something like that, right? He fought that guy, and why? Yeah, right. That was his last fight, the first DAZN card, if I'm not mistaken, and he got a draw, and he didn't look like great. So against Adrian Broner, he was winning the first half of the fight, and then there was a quick resurrection, like second wind of Broner, and then Broner looked the best against Jesse Vargas, and he's looked against anyone recently, So it's like, okay, they're trying to obviously secure a win for Jesse Vargas, but Soto, like, I don't get me wrong, I fucking enjoyed the shit out of the Brandon Rios fight against him, because it was like literally no defense, just come forward, te voy a dar un putazo, tú me metes una a mí, y we take turns type of thing. But I mean, that's 2 veterans. That's 2 guys that are like on their way out, who we know that it could have gone either way. I don't see how that's a challenge for Jesse, or what that would say about him. But then again, I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not a promoter. So what the fuck do I know, right? In the card is also going to be Scott Quigg. And of course, Scott Quigg has had his share of controversies in the boxing ring, especially given the fact that he came in heavy as hell, and didn't do a second day weigh-in with Valdez. He came in at 142 on fight night, if I'm not mistaken, which is just ridiculous. And he looked huge compared to Valdez, and he broke his jaw. I mean, to say something else about Valdez, he broke Quigg's nose. But yeah, we see Scott Quigg. So it's a really nice card. You have all these big names, and it draws the people in. We have guys from literally everywhere. Thailand, you have Mexicans, you have guys here from California locally, you have Australia, you have the UK. So it's like literally a melting pot of boxing, like dudes in the melting pot. Conference tour between Canelo and Jacobs. Now, we know that both Canelo and Jacobs don't really talk shit. They're not shit talkers. Obviously, Jacobs is a little bit more, vocal about shit that he doesn't like than Canelo. Canelo's kind of just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do the talking in the ring. But, Canelo's like, oh, I don't need to trash talk my opponents to sell a fight, even though I do remember him calling Triple G a bitch on Instagram. Good times. But it's true, like the guy, the DAZN guy, I don't know his name, he was like, oh, say something mean about each other. And Jacob says something like, oh no, Canelo has like such a great smile, look at him, he looks like a teddy bear, which I think kind of was like a jab at him a little bit, like, I'm not scared of you, you look harmless type of thing. And Canelo was just like, yeah, no, I'm not, he's a good fighter. Now, I asked Canelo, why the sudden interest in belts? And this is what he said.
No es un objetivo que tenemos en el equipo. Eddie quiere que sea campeón unificado, ¿no? Y ser el primer mexicano en lograrlo, y pocos en el mundo. Y pues somos un equipo, ¿no? Por eso tres cabezas piensan mejor que una. Así que si eso es lo que queremos es, siempre yo he dicho que lo que quiero es hacer historia, y si eso es hacer historia, pues lo voy a hacer.
And basically in English that just means like, I didn't care about the belts, but Eddie wants me to be undisputed, and three heads think better than one. And if I want to make history in boxing, I've always said I wanted to make history in boxing, and if making history means I have to, get these belts, then that's what I'm gonna do. And we know the whole thing with the Canelo and the belts in the WBC. It's no new thing, new concept for anyone. So now he's like, well, he wants to become undisputed. And I honestly don't doubt that if Canelo defeats Jacobs, he will become undisputed, because yes, Bubu Andrade is very, very technical, but I think Canelo is still the better fighter, and I do think he can get that belt. I think Canelo did well getting the fight against Jacobs, because who else was he gonna get? Jacobs is ranked high in the middleweight division, so who else was he gonna choose? Who else was a good name? Billy Joe? Yes, I think Billy Joe would probably give Canelo the most problems based on his style. But at the same time, Billy Joe doesn't have a belt anymore, so who gives a fuck about him? That kind of leaves him out already. I don't think Canelo would want to take that risk to fight someone like Billy Joe with that style for no belt. Like, why? For what? So now who else? Charlo. We saw how Charlo looked in his last fight. It wasn't impressive. He did struggle. After that, I realized, in my opinion, that both Canelo and Triple G can beat Charlo. It would still be a great name to have under you, because, he has power and he's more technical. He's just, I don't think he fought the type of opposition that would have gotten him ready for an opponent of the caliber of Canelo or Triple G. So those guys would have been, the other opponents. But Jacobs, this guy is like a for sure guy. A lot of people think this fight is 50-50. And that's because, like Jacobs himself said, Canelo have maybe fought a strong-ass fuck-ass guy. Maybe he fought like a super technical guy with a lot of footwork. And he fought guys that are fast, like Amir Khan. But not a fighter with all of those things in one. And he believes that he has a little bit of everything in one. And I do agree with him. I have to agree with him. I think he is, if there's anybody that could beat Canelo that wasn't Golovkin, it could be Jacobs. But at the same time, Jacobs has been down before. I mean, he had fucking cancer, so I'm not going to give him shit for that. But he has been knocked down before, knocked out before. He's older. In his last fights, I'm not saying he looks shitty, but it's been a while since he knocked somebody out, or that he looked like super like dominant in the way that like, you ain't got shit on me. Because he did win against Derevyanchenko. I don't think that was a majority decision. I think he beat him, but I didn't like that whole fight just because like they're like literally stablemates. They're in the same gym. They had the same trainer basically up until that fight, and I didn't like that. I thought that was really fucking weird. But basically, I think Canelo, what can you say about him? You may hate him, but shit, he has one of the best resumes in boxing. And if he keeps taking fights like these that are legit risks and are legit opponents, top middleweights, he's not choosing like some rando. What can you say? What can you say about him? So good for him. He promised everybody in attendance at the press conference free Hennessy, and I never saw that, so that's a minus point for Canelo and my liking. Like, don't promise us Hennessy if you're not gonna give us any. But then I think my favorite part of the press conference was that Oscar de la Hoya referred to Cinco de Mayo weekend as Cinco de Drinko weekend. Like, same, Oscar, same. Especially it's gonna be in Vegas. Like, damn it, that weekend's gonna be lit. So I'm looking forward to that. They wrapped up, obviously, the tour, the press tour. When they faced off, Jacobs looked, he looked significantly bigger than Canelo. So, I don't know. that shit, size didn't matter with Rocky. But Rocky, it was Rocky. The UK has like a different standard for their champions, apparently. Now, let's just quickly dive into the fight this weekend. We do have Porter versus Ugas. Porter's making his first title defense, is getting his belt from Danny Garcia. No, what the fuck am I talking about? He got the belt because Thurman vacated it, and he got that belt by beating Danny Garcia. He didn't get the belt from Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia lost that belt to Keith Thurman. I was kind of expecting him to be his usual aggressive ass self, like headbutts and clinching, because Porter fights in a way that he's very, very aggressive, and he's not afraid to come forward at you. And the way that he kind of goes, like he faces you, most of the time his head goes under like the other fighter's chin, and that's how like headbutts happen. But he was actually really cool, calm, collected. He didn't get desperate. I was really impressed with the way he defeated Garcia. A lot of people were like, oh, that's bullshit, he lost, or all those scorecards, whatever. No, I thought the judges had it right this time. I think Porter beat Garcia very, very decisively. Garcia, I don't know what his deal was or what's going on with him, but he's not like the level of opposition we thought. Like, he's not up there with like the Spences and the Crawfords. He is still, I would call him an A- fighter. But I think also what mattered was the difference in the corners. We saw, Kenny Porter, yeah, he was yelling at Sean Porter, but he was like telling him, like, you have to go out there and do what I told you to do. While in the other hand, we have in the other corner, we have Angel and Danny just like, do the hook, and he's like going fucking crazy. So, it's you see the different dynamics of father and son relationships in the ring. But Ugas is a guy from Cuba. I believe he's from, obviously here in Florida, but he's from Cuba, and he defeated the same guy that Jesse Vargas got a draw against in the first DAZN card. Delermo. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But I think Ugas beat that guy. So, hey, connection here. But, yeah, it's a legit, defense, title defense. Hopefully we see a unification match soon. But I'm just bummed that this fight's not getting much of a buzz. It's not getting a lot of recognition. Maybe because they moved it from Las Vegas here to LA last minute at the StubHub Center. Wait, it's not called the StubHub anymore. I don't remember what the hell it's called. But it's right next to my school, but I don't remember what it's called anymore. The thing is, I think they're going to have a harder time selling tickets too, because right now it's cold here in LA. And I know a lot of people that live in like Minnesota or like somewhere else are going to be like, bitch, it's not cold. Like, relax. You get like 50 degrees. But for us, that's cold. Like, we're cold. And the StubHub or whatever it's called now, it's an open air venue and it's cold. It's really fucking cold. And I think people are not going to want to sit for that long in the cold. And I'm not sure if it's going to rain, but it's cold and people's nipples are going to be freezing. And I don't know if they're going to want to deal with that. Especially because the undercard is not the best. Like, the whole undercard, it's cool. I'm not saying anything bad about it. You do find really great fights in undercards, PBC undercards, because, there's guys that are like, oh, I want to get recognition. I'm on TV. I'm on like prime TV, so let me show off. But the names are not there. The names are very lacking in this card. So I do believe that that's what's going to hurt both ticket sales and, just in general, why there's not much of a hype around it. But I mean, it should be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to go because my internship is on a Saturday this time. But I'll be there for the DAZN fight. I don't care what happens. The Pope could come to my house for dinner and I'll still be like, yeah, no, see you later type of shit. So yeah, I don't know. What else happened this week? Munguia, he got another title defense, which is cool and all, but when are we going to get a unification? And I know this is like really hard to talk about, kind of, because it's not like Munguia. We know he's not ready. We know he's he's green for like the other champions at the junior middleweight, but at the same time, it's like, okay, come on, like we want something else already. Hurd, I don't know, both of their defenses are not the best, but I think Hurd would beat Munguia. And I'm just not, I don't know, I kind of want Munguia to have a unification. He already, he got the bout against Ali. I know it was just last year, but he stays busy. He fights a lot. I think last year he fought like 5 times. So it's like, come on now, like give us something else. Give us a unification. And another thing is like he might as well try to unify because he needs to move up. That kid is tall and he's just huge. So like I'm not sure like what he's gonna do, but he needs to eventually obviously move up. So might as well just, even if it gets to your first L, like I don't know how much longer he's gonna remain champion, but I guess, hey, I'm still rooting for him. Let's do it. He's from Tijuana. I was living in Tijuana for a while, so I have family in Tijuana. So I don't know. I'm rooting for him, but I'm also, as a fan, I'm just like, okay, well, let's get a unification going here, y'all. Marcos Maidana back in the gym, and he's still a little bit chunk, but I just don't know who he's going to fight. I know he got like a 3-fight deal, I think, from PBC, and I'm just excited as hell to have him back. I know obviously I'm not going to expect the same thing. I'm not dumb. Maybe a little bit, but I'm still really excited for his return. I'm just wondering who he's going to face. Victor Ortiz rematch? Maybe American? I don't know. It would be funny as hell. Andre Berto, like someone I think that he can beat. Because why else? I feel like at this point they're just treating him like a little circus guy, like a circus clown type of thing. Like it's mostly entertainment because all boxing fans, I hope, know that it's not going to be the same guy who most people or half of the people think beat Mayweather the first time, or it's not going to be the same guy that like made Victor Ortiz quit even, or like I don't know. Did he make him quit? Or was that... He almost had American, I remember that. But it's not going to be that same dude. So at this point, it's just like for more for entertainment purposes and money. Hello? But at the same time, like I would like to see rematches against American. That would be hilarious. But I don't know how much weight he can lose. But I think they put him up against guys like that. Like Berto, Ortiz, maybe even Joselito Lopez. Fuck it. Like guys that are like, like not the A-listers, because they don't. Why would he just get paid to like get hurt? But I don't know. And this was basically just a test podcast, so let's just end it here. But I'm just sad. Still no news from Triple G. Still no final deal with DAZN, or if he has it, if he's been had it, he hasn't announced it. But damn, like I'm not used to not talking or seeing Triple G in like boxing news, like just randomly. The last time he was at that like Laker game or Clippers game, I don't know, basketball. He was at some basketball game with the guy that's fighting in Hollywood Fight Nights and Tom. But I don't know, man. Where the hell is Triple G? Put him in a milk carton. Let's get him back. I want him back in my life. So let's hopefully this month, I don't want this month to end with no word from Triple G. I need him to come back. So yeah, this was a test run for the Chicana Boxing Podcast. Next week I will have a prediction for next week I have a prediction for Spence versus Mikey, and I'm really excited for that fight. But I don't want to talk about it now because this is just kind of a test podcast to see if everything is fine. For all I know, this shit hasn't been recording at all, or who knows. I will try to do this, and I'll see you guys next week. Next Friday I'll be posting the Mikey versus Spence podcast prediction analysis, and just random shit, clips of Mikey telling me what he thinks, why he chose Spence. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and go to ChicanaBoxing.com, follow Chicana Boxing on Instagram and YouTube, and that's probably where the fuck you guys are coming from, or Twitter. But yeah, shout out to all of y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.